might be a little heavy on the hand, but I learned from living life on the land that when the flames get hotter, you move to deeper water. That's where I learned to sink and swim. And you know,
All right.
I
Well, let's
really
kick this
give
bad
a
boy
damn.
off. We got some good shit to talk about. So, you were already singing earlier today. At the
Why
dad
would
joke.
shit get
I
thicker?
know,
I
I read it
reach
right
for the liquor,
I know,
load
you
'em
probably
up and
did.
flip a bird to the man.
Howdy, welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Viko, the bearded one. Just call me JT for short. And today, I am joined by the voluptuous and charming Alex, the Jarl Martinez, as always.
Man,
Voluptuous.
I'll take it.
I mean, I'm in.
A full-figured girl.
Thick. Horsies.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring extra Arby's sauce, baby, because I have the meats.
Ooh. I like that horsey sauce, though.
I think you might be the only one.
Possibly.
It's like-
It's so good, though.
Oh,
Not the Arby's horsey sauce. I mean, it's okay. It's like mayonnaise with horseradish flavor, but I'm talking like I love horseradish sauce in general.
I can't do horseradish. It's caca.
Does it make your nose tingle?
No, it's just gross. I don't know. I like pickles though.
I like pickles, too. Who doesn't?
Just horseradish. It's just I don't know.
Terrorists don't like pickles.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a pretty good show today. Starting off with slow
Some
but
weird
steady.
shit.
Fucking here. Oh man. So before we get started, as usual, customary, what are we drinking today?
I have like a just spread tonight because
A menagerie of empty bottles.
yes, I have the Pendleton Midnight that I'm finishing.
I won't
And
tell Bond.
then-
I won't tell Troy.
Whatever. And then I have the Woodford. I have the Woody. The
Ooh.
Woody in reserve.
Nice.
So-
I'm still going strong on my Montana Honey Moonshine from Willie's Distillery. So you got a Woody and I got a Willie. I mean, we're here.
Yeah, this is true.
We
And you
should-
know, just regular Miller Lite just for sipping.
I got
and a
Bush. It's the last Bush in the house. So tomorrow I'll be getting some Goldies, like a
Is
grown
it,
up.
is it the last bush in the house?
Yeah, because you're not here.
You seem pretty bushy.
Well, okay, I'll go with it. I was thinking shrubs like shrubbery.
Oh, right.
You know, so
Get the trim
Monty Python reference in there or something like. You
Huh.
must bring us a shrubbery. You probably don't get it because you watch funny things, but that's fine.
No, I hate funny things. I hate to laugh.
Yeah, I know. It's fair. So we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Before we start, though, this is our Thanksgiving episode.
Mm-mm,
So,
it's not.
well, we didn't say Happy Thanksgiving on the last one, so this is our Thanksgiving episode. So happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All we did
we're-
was talk about it, right?
I don't even think we really talked.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we
We
didn't
talked
really
about a
talk
lot of
about
shit. So, I mean, we had crazy shit happen. We were talking about men's mental health. We got really into it. And then we started talking about the little ghost girl, and she gave a straight up thumbs up. Caught on video.
Yeah. And then we got in trouble by the boat today
Yeah.
because he said we talked too much.
Yeah, apparently people only listen for 45 minutes at a time, which I get, but like, it's a car ride.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like where we live, it's like 35, 45 minutes to like anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've got a great agenda today. So, but happy Thanksgiving, belated. To everybody.
Belated. Yeah.
Belated. But on the same time, no, we're a week behind, so here we are.
This'll be or like a week ahead. We're a week ahead for once.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, we're like 2 weeks ahead, a week ahead, something like that.
We're just a week ahead because we didn't podcast when I was in town.
That's right, we didn't.
Nah.
There was a lot of stuff going on. You were trying to hit the links.
Oh fuck, man, it was having fun on the golf course, man.
Yeah, we didn't have a bad time on the golf course for sure.
I had 4 days of golfing.
And amazingly, you didn't get better.
Well, I didn't get worse. I still like.
I'm glad that we were number 4.
Dude, I want to let you.
The first 3 holes or 4 holes, you were on point. And then after that,
I got cold, dude. I was out there because I didn't put my jacket on because I didn't want to like that big ass coat. I just got cold. That's fine.
You should have got yourself some bearded Viking swag.
Oh yeah.
Since it's in the truck.
Yeah, I mean, some jackass didn't tell me he had it in the truck and that I could have it. He said.
I mean, everybody else was wearing it, but
Not just you. Just you.
no, and Cole.
No, they bought it afterwards.
Did they get it afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anyway, suck it.
Well, it's fine. But hey, I'm happy I shot well for the whole time, basically, except for that last 2 holes where I just kind of fucking flopped. But I mean, good games, good fun, lots of fun down there. But yeah,
we ended up tying. We best ball. Did we tie or did we lose?
No, we tied.
Did we?
Yeah.
Say Team Bearded Viking tied.
Yeah, I don't know Cole's last name, so in my phone
that is his last name. It's Cole.
Well, in my phone, Cole's name is Cole Golf Chip Guy.
Golf Chip Guy.
Yeah, because he chipped that one in. It was fucking awesome.
He's been insane lately.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. So, all right. So with the holidays coming up, we've got some other news. The whole crew, except for Doc, will all be up here November 30th through December 3rd. If you are in the Montana area, I say that in the fucking funniest way possible. If you're in the area up here, and you want to swing by the meadery and watch us do woodworking or not woodworking or whatever, pop in. If you don't have the address, text me. If you don't have the phone number, you're probably too far away to worry about it.
Right. If you're in the territory.
Yeah. So our meadery is almost finished. It's located in Columbus, Montana. If you don't know where that is, get a map. I'm kind of salty a little bit.
Subscribe to the newsletter too.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Newsletter's going out.
Yeah.
Coming up. Yeah.
Next week?
No, it's the
or the week after 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's like the 3rd
December
or the 4th.
Right?
Yeah, December newsletter's coming out on the 4th. So it's awesome. Great stuff. It's really, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty informative. It's actually pretty fun to write our own columns and. I don't know.
Well, the guys are working really hard on it, and there's been somebody new that's written something that they like or their perspective every month so far. So
I can't wait for next month and Ryan's rants.
Oh, the newsletter's going to be like 5 pages long next month or January.
I just want to start off with
letting Doc kick off the new year.
No, he's doing the one for yeah. He might as well.
Oh
Fuck it.
no,
let's go. It's happening.
Because Tro has December. Oh man, Doc,
awesome.
Doc, go easy, dude. Bring us into the New Year's like nice and easy, dude.
Just ease us in. Talk to us about New Year's resolutions that you don't want to follow.
Yeah, talk to us in like that smooth, sexy voice. Because
I'm gonna read it in his voice. I read your article in your voice.
That's the weirdest shit, right? When you're reading something that somebody else wrote, whether it's like text messages or something like that, you read it in their voice.
Yeah, you can totally tell when I send a text message because you have to translate it, and your brain in doing that process literally makes it speak in my voice.
Oh yeah, like I have like a whole translator app just dedicated to JT.
Fair. Still smoke free, by the way. Douche fluty.
I just saw a whole bunch of smoke.
No, it's vapors. It's vaping.
So you're like ditching the nicotine, like by cigarette, and going with like the popcorn nicotine.
So I'm actually only doing this to step down from the amount of so this is like only like 5%. So it's like super, super low. So I just got to get over the crutch of the nonsense with the building. So it's like I think it's my go-to crutch.
You just have like an oral fixation, I think is what it is.
Probably because I did solve it once.
Some hard candy. Just start sucking on that.
I'm waiting for a fucking bag of dicks to show up in my house. I can't fucking wait. I got your Christmas present for you too up here. I can't wait for you to open it.
Good. I think I know what it is.
I think you do, and it's gonna have to be passed around as was tradition in Afghanistan in the most fun way possible. All right, so we got the cool updates. Today we got a good session on mental health. We've actually been doing a lot more on that, breaking it down. I think it's really important during the holidays to talk about it like openly.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Often. Yeah, like I mean, tomorrow I get my daughter. She gets into town at 11:30, so that's cool. Can't wait. Cannot wait to hang out with her. I'm sure she's got some sort of cool new story to tell me, and gonna practice that violin. She's really good at the violin, so
Like legit, like a violin?
yeah, she's a first chair. She's been a first chair since her freshman year.
I don't know what that means.
The number one violinist in her school. She lettered in it. I didn't even know you could letter in
You could
orchestra.
letter in violin?
In orchestra, yeah, she lettered in it.
Huh.
Right.
Oh,
She lettered in orchestra and also academics.
I think they might just be making it too easy to letter now.
I don't know, man. She's really good. I want her to
No,
play
no,
some
like in
fiddle.
academics, it's like you just
Oh,
show up, you get your 4.0 and you
or
letter
for
for
fucking notes.
academics. Like, what the fuck? That takes.
Oh shit. Can you
Oh,
imagine going back to school now?
oh,
If
dude.
me and you went back to school right now,
What's
I
that
would
movie?
I would phone it in.
Oh, dude, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Literally, phone it in.
I would do
Because
like,
we'd have phones. They wouldn't just be like
oh yeah.
the rudimentary little devices that we had.
So it's funny because if you think about it, right? So our teachers lied to all of our math teachers lied to us. Are you going to carry a calculator around with you wherever you go? Yes, actually, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, it's there.
And a recording device,
Yeah. Also,
camera, uh,
some
yeah,
video games.
yeah, some video games, yeah, video camera,
Yeah, we got it all.
a decoder watch with your what was it called? Not decoder watch, it was a decoder ring, but it was what was the watch called?
Oh, I can't remember, but
Oh fuck.
we're talking like Dick Tracy, right?
Yeah,
No, no,
Dick Tracy. Yeah,
Dick Tracy shit, right? Yeah,
yeah.
fucking good shit right there. Terrible movie. They totally fucked the movie.
I never watched the movie.
Don't
I
just
wasn't
don't.
gonna.
Yeah, don't. Anyway,
Yeah.
so oh fuck. All right, so I guess we start off with today's version or today's episode of mental health is going to be really focused on about making yourself happy, right? So I'm going to start off and ask you the question. What outside of your family makes you happy? Like what do you do outside of your family that makes you happy? What is the thing that drives you?
Well, I have like one of the most like happy, rewarding, frustrating, make you sad hobbies in the world.
Oh, old cars.
Yeah. Yeah. So like one day you're just driving down the road and it's super fun and you're like a pig in mud and then like 5 seconds later, like you hear a boom and a thud and your day's really bad.
Yeah.
So
Oh, most old Ford owners will know this pretty well, especially if you drive a highboy of any kind.
yeah, it's just so I love the old cars. Like I'm still trying to get rid of one right now to get another one back. But yeah, it's rewarding when everything's going right and all the stars align and they're doing what they're supposed to do. But I would say a mixture of the way I drive things and you know, it's not for lack of me not taking care of them right or having stuff done right to them. It's just I like to just flog them. So, they're not just point A to point B to me. It's fun.
Yeah,
And, if I do something stupid and break it, then I'm a little less mad if it was my fault because I was doing something stupid. If I'm like just driving down the road and then something happens, I'm like, "Ah, fuck, I wasn't even doing anything dumb." Then I get upset. But I think that kind of makes me happy. That's kind of a release on those days where I just kind of got to get away and just be by myself
hmm
because you can sit there and I've noticed myself do this. I've noticed, people around us do this, but like just sit there and like scroll
Oh,
forever on your phone.
fuck, man, I do it all the time. It sucks.
But yeah, dude, like you just get stuck into it, like stuck into that stupid routine. But I I legit just, getting in there, half the time the radio works, half the time it doesn't. But it's not like driving your truck, your brand new truck down the road. You
Mhm.
can't just pull out your phone and sit there and try and text message and stuff like that and not end up in a ditch. So,
Yeah. So
it's you get that experience. It's loud, it's smelly, it's obnoxious, but if you want to impress other dudes
Get a
and you want
Falcon.
to pick up dudes, get an old car or a Falcon, yeah,
Falcon,
or
yeah.
a Falcon.
A Falcon. Well,
But
I
yeah,
mean, okay. I mean, I think we've talked about that in the past, but it's really refreshing to have a different perspective a year later, almost a year later.
mhm,
We're almost up to one year. The podcast. We should have a 1 year anniversary something or other.
yeah. When was our first
If
podcast?
I know, well, it was around Christmas, so we're coming up. That's
Yeah, we're
one.
gonna have to figure that out. Our
Yeah, I
first
mean,
release.
yeah. Um, so for me, I have my serenity actually comes in the form of hunting, and it's funny because when I was growing up, like hunting was something that my dad drugged me out to do.
Hmm.
Right? I was like, oh man, the football game's on, or oh dad, like I'm gonna go on a date, or my friends are fucking all skateboarding, or whatever, right? And now I find absolute peace and serenity walking through the woods because I do a lot of walking, like a lot of walking.
Lots of nature walks.
Yeah, lots of taking the bow for a walk, um, and then I mean I think both of us have like kind of eccentric hobbies, like definitely, right? So hunting isn't really that, but like owning fancy cars is kind of an eccentric thing. Driving the shit out of them, and then for
Yeah,
me, falconry.
well, and like they're like eccentric, but they're old man hobbies too.
Oh
So I
yeah.
just looked it up, and we're at 11 months. So December will be our first year.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so they're like eccentric old man hobbies
Hmm.
because nobody in their 30s has like the types of cars that I have and keeps them up and everything. Usually when I go to a car show, it's, my brother and I are, I'm usually the youngest there, for,
Yeah.
and my brother, there's a lot of guys that are the same age as the boat, which is cool. And, I get along with all those guys and hang out with them. They're kind of they're just all really cool dudes. But the there's not a lot of people that are the same age as me that go to those things or have them, or if they have them, they don't go to shows or cruises or
Hmm.
whatever. And me personally, I fucking hate car shows most of the time because I don't like just sitting by the car or standing still. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, pulled the sock off. Nope.
What the fuck?
There's so much work that went into it too.
I didn't even know how to put it back on. It's fucking annoying.
Fuck it. It's so silver.
It
But
is.
yeah, I don't really even like going to car shows because I don't like sitting there next to my car. Like, I would rather go to like a cars and coffee thing, or uh one of those like cruising things where they go and it's a mixture of like old and new cars. Because I love new cars. It's just I can't afford one of the new cars because I have all my money wrapped up into the old cars.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, my hobbies, my real hobbies outside of like hunting. So I have a peregrine falcon. If you guys don't know that, I'm a falconer. Not a very good one, but I keep trying. Um, um, but I got addicted to it the very first time Ragnar, R.I.P. Stooped at 140 miles an hour, so it's as stoop as a dive, right? And killed a pheasant for me, 7 feet away from me. He hit it 7 feet away from me, about 20
It's
feet in the
crazy.
air, and it was, I don't know, the most metal thing that I'd ever seen. I also love beekeeping.
The most
Uh,
metal thing ever.
yeah, dude. When a falcon hits another bird that fast and it literally sizzles through the air when it passes by you, it's fucking crazy. And then I also love beekeeping. I love the falconry because it's so people are like, how do you train your falcon? Well, I'm not a bird, so I don't train the bird how to be bird. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Still haven't figured it out. I'll let you know when I find out.
So like what you do is it's about creating a partnership and really focused on communication with the animal. Um, and this is going to be a little bit nerdy for people, but I don't really care. So it's really like building a bond of trust with an animal that they won't fly off because once you put them up in the air, they gone. One
Yeah.
of my falcons flew off because I didn't build the trust appropriately, and she fucking pieced out, and she was gone fast. And she took $6,000 worth of transmitters with her. I followed her as far as I could, and she was just out fucking murdering things because she's a giant. She was basically a pterodactyl.
This giant murderer.
Yep. The only thing bigger than that falcon that's out there is a golden eagle, and that's a dragon. And those things are fucking huge. And then I fell in love with beekeeping, which I've been slacking on, just let the bees do their thing for a little bit. But I love beekeeping because, like, understanding how bees work is like this crazy process, right? So, how they're basically like Rome. Bees are Romans. It's a hive mind, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
But they'll like Julius Caesar any queen that's not fucking doing their job. They'll literally like the drones will go grab her by her legs and hold her down while the other bees rip her apart.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
That's pretty
Or
savage.
yeah, or the other way that they do it is if they they'll ball up around, like they call it a bee ball,
Hmm.
right? They ball up around the queen if she's not producing enough eggs or not laying the appropriate pattern for the brood. They'll ball up around her and vibrate and cook her to death like a microwave.
Oh, isn't that what they do to those giant hornets too?
Yeah, it's
Like
how
if
they
they
kill.
try and sneak in?
Yeah, or just kind of anything that goes inside. I've seen them attack mice the same way.
That's crazy.
I'm like, holy fuck! And then they'll drag the mouse out the bottom, just drop it like fuck you, bitch, going off that ledge, dude. It's like it's literally like fucking Rome. For me, those are very old manny things, I guess, if you will, but they're also my serenity. Like being out there, like you can't be looking at your phone if you're in the middle of a hive, right? Um,
Yeah.
but you can't be if you're out hunting. You can't be. I mean, you can look at your phone, but you're gonna miss the animal that walks 2 feet in front of you, right?
Hmm.
Or if you're with your falcon, like you're focused on the falcon and you're not even paying attention, and that's like the same exact thing as you. It's like the most frustrating thing ever, right? But at the same time, like the hobby is the hobby. There's two types of people in the world: the people who get paid to do what they love, and the rest of us who pay to do what they love.
Right.
Yeah.
One day. One day.
So for me, falconry is that kind of release. It used to be karaoke. I love karaoke.
You're not exactly close to, a karaoke bar anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, I had to adapt and find and just make sure I'm good, especially with like everything that goes on and being a man. It's just like I think it's lost on people that you have to make time for yourself. Like you have to find something that you love to do. And it doesn't matter what you love to do, but you have to set aside hours a week. Not like 1 hour, but hours a week to do what you love. It could be golf, it
Yes.
could be Dungeons and Dragons, it could be anything.
And sometimes it's tough though,
Yeah.
um, to set, time aside, especially, with, today and everything that's going on. Like I'll use myself as as an example, having kids and trying to get sports and get them taken care of and kind of be supportive. You can't really dip off, and if you do, you're gonna come back to a toothbrush shiv in your side, while you're sleeping.
Mm. 4
So,
sugar at least, bare minimum.
oh yeah, yeah, like wake up with a black eye.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's definitely a balance, right? So, and finding that happy medium. And there's definitely sometimes you're like, all right, I just gotta go. I'm out of here. You
And
know,
you and you need to be able to communicate that with your partner regardless. Like if you're, whoever it is that's in your life that matters to you, sometimes you just got to be like, fuck this, I'm out. I got to take a moment to me and do the things that I need to do to find my center.
yeah, and it's not necessarily like I wouldn't look at it as like running away because you're not
Mm-mm.
really running away from a problem. Just I'd say like decompress, right?
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
moving away to decompress.
Yeah, like you got to, so in order for you to find any kind of happiness, your cup has to be full, right? So you have to fill your own cup. The problem is we rely on, and people rely on strong men to fill their cup with their light or their whatever, their happiness. And if you don't take the time to keep your cup full, you're just you're gonna live a miserable existence. So I mean, it doesn't have to be every week, but I recommend every week, like
Well,
an
and
hour.
guys fizzle out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
And, I don't mean that just in like the suicide way or anything like that. I just mean like sometimes it's like, that kind of that
Mhm.
light goes out a little bit.
Well, yeah, and like then when you do get burned out or you fizzle out, then you lose the drive, right? And when you lose the drive, then you lose the strength that you have to be a protector, right? And maybe a provider or whatever. And then even in your personal life, you lose the love, the desire to be with the people around you because you don't have what you used to have, right? So you have to have some sort of hobby to focus on. What makes you happy? Some people think like that they have to be like they have to be around that one person. They latch on to their person, right? And the
Hmm.
problem is that's a symbiotic relationship, and if one of you's down, then both of you are down, and that's just not the right way to live.
Yeah, and people aren't looking at it that way. I think a lot of times.
Hmm. I think so too. So, and a lot of the stuff that I do is based on, an- it's really anxiety driven. Like the karaoke thing was PTS driven, which is basically a very, very stressed out form of anxiety, you know. Um, and I know a lot of people have like social anxiety now, which is weird because like 4 years ago, it felt like the world was opening up, and there was definitely people that have social anxiety, and they would let you know that they did by yelling at you, right? Like, or or they would shy away from you, like you would know, and you would kind of understand that. But for me, a lot of the things that I do, there's the things that I do to combat that anxiety now. Social anxiety is typically defined as being in a social situation in which there's large groups of people um, that cause you to be anxious or nervous. By the way, real quick, we're not professionals.
Well, and like in some situations, yes, I would say, because uh I think being a veteran probably comes with a sense of social anxiety when it comes to just big groups and not being able to control everything, knowing where your exits are and trying to make sure that everybody's safe. But I think the other, side of the coin is just people that have social anxiety,
Mhm.
right? You and I are not ones that have that issue, you know,
What?
like walking in and just start talking to people.
Yeah.
Uh, but there are those, individuals out there, and I actually reached out to a couple friends to try and get some topics on this,
Mm.
that just for this, because I figured, an outside perspective of, those men's mental health topics would
Yeah.
be a good thing. And that's where that kind of social anxiety came in, whether it's a group or whether it's just, you know, uh, you know, somebody that has a hard time just opening up and talking to anybody because of trust issues, or, a feeling of just, just scared to open up and talk to people because you might feel like you're going to be judged for something, or you might not know, you might not have the same point of view, or, whatever it might be, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
that's kind of a perspective that you and I don't think really have, but there are a lot of people out there that are like that. And then, once they open up, it's just normal dudes all the time, you know,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
you would never know, right?
Right. So my take on social anxiety is kind of like I said, I relate it to my like anxiety and PTSD, and I brought up karaoke before, actually not even looking at this bullet point on the fucking on the schedule to talk about. But so here's the thing. Here's why PT or karaoke works for me and helps me battle my demons. And like really pushes me on that. So I would say I probably do have some social anxiety. Um, but it's just in general, like not like in a populated situation, but just with like the general populace. Like I live on at the top of a mountain by myself with my girl, and like, I mean, we see a lot of people that come and visit, but like we take them in short spurts, right? Like I became a hermit, um, But like my my experience is so exactly along the lines of what you're saying, just to echo what you're saying, but this was from my perspective. So I go to karaoke and I'm talking with my friends, my close friends that go to karaoke with me or somebody that I've deployed with. Um, and I use it as an opportunity to hang out with them, but really I'm there for myself. Because when you're up in front of everybody at a bar, you have zero control of anything if people like you or don't like you, right? Um, you can sing your song and you could sing like the best version of Johnny Cash ever or Lady Gaga or whatever the fuck you sing. And there's going to be some dude who doesn't fucking like it. Some chick's going to be cackling in the corner about some joke that she heard from somebody. There might be a bar fight, whatever it is. But I challenge myself to face my demons head on, and I learned that through therapy of on how to do that, and really put myself in a situation where the only outcome is finishing what I'm doing. Right? It takes courage to out in public for a lot of people with social anxiety. It takes courage for people to leave the house. It takes courage for people to get up on stage and sing. It takes courage for a lot of these things. And so the social anxiety aspect of it, I look at what a couple of our good friends, so we won't call out on this one, but we've got a good friend who messages both of us often, and he definitely has it. And
Hmm.
he is so fucking brave. I'm very proud of him. He was trying to convince himself not to come to the Marine Corps ball, and then he fucking showed up, right? Because it was important to him to be there with us and be with his brothers and be around great people, and he hung out till the end, and then he was good. Like, but exactly what you said.
Hmm.
He was fucking nervous at first. He didn't know what was going on. He thought that it was going to be rough on him, and then he got there and he realized he was among trusted people, and
Well,
then
he remembered that those are his people and
yeah.
why they're his people. So I think I think that's huge, right?
Mhm.
Because knowing your limitations and knowing those things that they're gonna have an impact on you, and then just trying to fight through them. It's like you know standing up and giving a speech in front of the whole freaking crowd naked, or you being naked, or whatever that thing is.
I mean, if I was naked, there would be much to look at, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly bush. It's like
Yeah.
don't mess
No,
with the
no.
Zohan
Shrubbery.
shrubbery.
It's
Your
all
chest
shrubbery.
pubes all the way to the ball front.
Bro, yeah, just a well manicured set of shrubs.
It's just one line.
Just here we go. We didn't mow here today.
It's just an arrow pointing down.
Yeah. And then just like a really, really, really bright light bulb.
It's like Rudolph. It's
Yeah.
like Rudolph coming out of the forest.
Yeah. Like, whoo. That's what's gonna happen. Next time I'm down there in that area for a Christmas party, I'll make sure that I roll in with something like that, and then Justin can
Yeah,
murder me official.
bring Rudolph.
Hmm. Um, I mean, okay, so back to the social anxiety thing. So that's the closest thing that I can understand to it because I don't get it. I think that there are definitely factors, and I think it's a real thing. But I think a lot of those factors are in your head.
Hmm.
Um, it's I don't know. I don't know how to say it. That sounds rude, right? But it's definitely like
You're like
you,
psyching yourself out.
yeah, like you're mind fucking yourself before you start. Like my
Well,
worst days doing anything is when I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking do this thing.
and I
Sorry.
wonder if it's like like something happened, right? Where you don't you don't know if like your opinion's good enough, or
Yeah.
like you have something important enough to say where it's good enough, like that type of thing,
Hmm.
like where you haven't been good enough in the past, so you're like
Yeah.
kind of worries you for the present. But like
It,
I don't necessarily have social anxiety when it comes to being around people per se. Like I definitely like to have my back to the wall and know where the exits are and stuff, but I think a lot of us are like that. But I don't I don't trust easily, and like I like being around like my people, you know. And sometimes somebody news around. That's whatever. But yeah, I definitely like to choose my circle and choose a circle well. Just like we've talked about in the past. Choose your people and
Yeah.
put quality people around you. Um, people that are going to want to see you succeed and help you succeed.
Ironically, I was watching on the scrolls today, dude. You brought that up earlier, and I was like, fucking, I got stuck in X or whatever it is for a little bit today, and that was a fucking weird trip because it's like, I don't know. It's just fucking. I haven't been on Twitter for so long, dude. Because it was like this fucking crazy dark space that it was just like you just sucked your soul out of.
Hmm.
Somewhere along the way, I made an algorithm happy because I just see lots of cool sports stuff and like men's mental health conversations. And then I was like, all right, cool. That's awesome. But then I was over on TikTok because I was getting ready to post a video that I didn't post because, well, it got flagged. So, because there's guns.
It's
So,
already
whatever.
it already got flagged.
Like 5 seconds into it, I was like, fuck you guys. Um, anyway, so, but, I was there and I was sitting and I was just listening to it as I was making some lunch and I was like, oh yeah, the biggest thing you could do about men is fucking find your people. Like you cannot be a lone wolf. Men are not supposed to be alone. Fucking serial killers are alone.
Right.
Right. They're like literally I was like, oh, that's real. And I was like, I think we've already talked about this. It's fucking weird. And then he started talking about like you gotta find your people. And then you gotta find people who will just show up at your house and drag you out kicking and screaming to go to the woods to fucking hang out or go to a bar or whatever you're gonna do, right? But you gotta surround yourself with your people. Like humans are tribal.
Mhm.
We men hunt in packs. We roll in packs. Like it is always been a thing. It's how we've always hunted. It's how we've survived as society. When we stop doing that, what ends up happening is you become anxious and you become tired, and then you become afraid to leave and do things. And I was like, oh, ooh, we talked about being, the burdens of man and things how that works, right? And finding your fucking people. And in this case, an example that you pointed out very clearly is surrounding yourself with fucking your people. Like if it's me and you and our crew, we can walk anywhere, anywhere,
Mhm.
no matter how fucked up the situation is, and we might not make it out, but we're gonna have fun not,
Oh,
you
we're gonna
know?
make it out. We might not make it out unscathed. We're gonna make it out.
Yeah. And then and in that situation, and I mean, I don't want to sound like, you know, um, we're driving a cult following or anything, but like, you're part of the Bearded Viking crew. If you listen to this, you're part of our family. Um, you know, and when we get some purple Kool-Aid, I'll pass it out for sure.
Yeah, Viko
But
for shit, dude.
yeah, fucking for real. Um, the thing is though, like you got to have the people. Like you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, and I think I mean, you got to have like some like chemical release too. Like when you're just hanging with the dudes, like doesn't even necessarily have to be like what we do. Like we'll go up to the woods and we'll drink whiskey and howl at the moon around a fire, or go golfing and drink beer and hang out or whatever. But just like a good day with the dudes
Mhm.
where, because I have those days too where I'm like, fuck, I just don't even want to leave the fucking house. Like golfing sounds fun or doing this sounds fun, but I'm like, but like taking a nap sounds nice too. Like I'm never upset that I went, you know?
No, no. Now, when you surround yourself with the people that you need to be surrounded with yourself with, right? Like, I've never been upset about fucking coming over your house and having like way too many beers and having to sleep in downstairs. Like,
Right.
I've never been upset about that. Like, not at all. And to me, like, I agree with you on that statement. Like, it's true. It comes very very true. So um, all right. So let's move on to something. So social anxiety is a real thing, but I think that you can resolve it by finding the people you want to be around. Don't be a leech. Don't attach to somebody. Don't be a symbiote. Find people that challenge you to be better. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
cool.
getting out of the shell, breaking out of the shell. And I think we've all known people like that. And once the monkey's out of the box, the monkey doesn't go back in the box.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, find your heroes in a half shell. Find your turtles. Turtle power.
Fucking, you're so lame.
You look like a turtle.
You're a turtle.
You're a turtle. If you were going to be a Ninja Turtle, you better have a fucking answer for this. Who would you be?
Oh, fuck, what one's the red one? I like the red one.
I'm not helping you out.
Ah, damn it. I gotta Google it.
What?
Is it Michelangelo?
No. Wrong. Yellow. You have 3 guesses.
What? Come on.
No.
That's Raphael.
I cannot believe you had to Google that.
Dude, I haven't seen the Turtles in so long. And like every time I try and turn it on, my boys are just like, eh. I'm like, what?
Dude, growing up, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, and Lone Star, Texas Ranger. Not like, yeah. He was a Texas Ranger that had a bionic arm and a bionic leg. He's like a cyborg kind of thing before Cyborg Barry.
Cyborg Barry.
And then he had like a horse that was a full-on cyborg, and he used to fight these ghost people. It was crazy.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, well, I'm old. And He-Man too.
I remember He-Man, and I remember like Thundercats and all that junk, but Lone Star. It was a cartoon?
Yeah. Such a good flick. Anyway, that's photos. I don't want that.
I never seen that one.
This is cool though. Super fucking cool. Like in my
Brave
mind.
Star. It's Brave Star.
Oh, Brave Star. Brave Star. Well, thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, fucking awesome. You got to show it to the boys, because they'll look up to Bond and be like, "Oh, look, it's like you. You guys are the same height. It's on TV."
It's Uncle Tro. Yeah, I've never seen that. The horse looks badass too.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. So,
Marshall Brave Star.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking solid. All right, so like on mental health, like we have a lot that we could cover all the time, but we've been scolded. We have been told.
We have been scolded. Do we have time for the second topic of it?
Up to you, man. I mean, I think we're okay on time, but like I want to talk about the other things that are supernatural though.
Oh, I know.
Like now, I'm super ready.
The reason why I think it is valid. The second point.
Just run it.
Is because there are, veterans out there. Like I actually know a veteran who.
For clarity, what's the second topic? We're running it. Let's run it.
Like actual mental disorders, right? So ADHD, bipolar, so on and so forth.
Is ADD and ADHD separate? Because in my mind, they're the same.
Like attention deficit disorder
and
attention hyperactive fucking hyperdrive. Clearly, we have it.
Yeah.
Like we have like adult ADHD.
I definitely have ADD.
Like I don't think that I always had like ADD.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that whether it be like social media and like bringing you down to like 30 seconds at a time on clips and stuff like that, like I definitely have found it hard on a lot of occasions to like focus, especially when it comes like last week we were talking about how fucking long do we do this until we're just throwing the flag. Don't want to do it anymore. If I'm interested in something, then I'm in. Like I'll focus. But my disinterest, it's just like Da-da-da.
You wear it very well on your face. It's very
I'm just
apparent
like-
when you're like, fuck this bullshit. You're like, all right, I need to know how to make mead, and I'm like, here's how you make mead, and you're like, okay, fuck this, I'm out.
Okay, cool.
Like,
I know the guy.
I'm fucking,
Yeah.
I know the guy.
I know
Yeah,
the guy that makes it.
no, and you start talking about cars. I'm like, done there, fucking done it. Bought a postcard, sent a T-shirt, whatever. It is.
Right. See, like me, like even like knowing how to make it, that doesn't like that still interests me because it's like our future, right? Do I
Yeah.
think that I'm gonna have to be the guy that makes the mead? Fuck no. Like, no.
What-
No, I know.
If there's a Jarl reserve that's fucking created
Dude,
and he
one
made
day-
it, fucking don't drink it.
No, fuck that, dude. It's
It's
gonna be legit.
fucking lightning.
It's gonna be like $200 a bottle, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, because you'll be fucking dead with botulism.
It's gonna be like the Midwinter's Dram of
Oh fuck.
Bearded
Killing
Viking
me.
Mead Company.
But no, you're right though on that. I immediately when I read that, I was like, oh fuck, we're talking about TikTok and Reels and
Yeah, because you just
fucking Vines, dude. Like, because like it's
I'm
so
not even
fucking
on TikTok.
dude, it's so annoying because you go on and then you find you like click on the thing that you want to follow. So or look at. So I look up a lot of sciencey stuff because I'm a fucking nerd. So it's fine. Right. And I'm like in the middle of like looking and this dude is like literally fucking carving, something out of the hillside, and he's fucking making like a clay pot stove, and then all of a sudden he's got a house around it. And you're like, oh fuck, I could totally do that. And you're like picking up these like low key like potential life-saving skills.
Like maybe one day you'll
Like
like,
a pop-
be like,
a
oh,
pop-
I saw this on a video, 30-second
like-
video one time.
For real, right? But then you go down the fucking rabbit hole because the algorithm fucking it's like, oh, this is the second or third fucking video he watched all the way through on this, and now all of a sudden there's another one, and that one's cooler than the last one. You want to know the one that actually gets me the fucking most? Is the fucking chocolatier guy, the fucking chef who makes like the Tyrannosaurus Rexes out of fucking chocolate and like.
I haven't been down that one.
Oh, dude, it's fucking. I'm
But
gonna
see,
send you
I'm not
one.
on the. I'm not. No, please don't.
No,
Please
no,
don't.
it's happening.
So my thing is like, I just have an Instagram because of Bearded Viking, but I get on there and I answer messages and stuff. Like if somebody sends me a message,
Mhm.
I'm pretty good at sending a reply back, right? Unless it's like a bot trying to like get me to watch her free show, and I'm
For
like,
Bob's and Vajon.
yeah, and I'm like, no, it's not what I'm fucking here for. That's cool. Delete, But I'm like, if you write me a message, that was fucking weird. Fuck that was. Anyway, if you write me a message, I always write you back, right? But yeah, I'll be going through and like I'll be looking at cars, right? Because Insta knows that Jarl likes cars, and I'll like start out looking
You
at
mean
like a
you mean
new,
Jarls?
yeah,
Jarls.
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 So I'll start out looking at like C8 Corvettes, and I'll get like 2 videos, 3 videos, and then it's like tits and ass, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like keep scrolling, like more cars, and then it's like tits and ass. I'm like, how the fuck does this keep happening? Like I was in a really good spot looking at these cars, and then I keep getting sidetracked.
And then like 2.5 hours later, your legs are numb on the toilet.
Yeah, and you're no better. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, dude, I did it today. So like I had a bunch of chores and shit I had to do because I got the family coming in town today, and like I was like, cool, I'm gonna fucking like set my day up with my regular job. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do like knock out some reporting, which I didn't do because I fucking got stuck in this. Dude, I was just watching like these crazy fucking like sciencey videos of like different types of metals and what they do, and this guy fucking pulling like silver out of fucking suspended fucking colloidal silver, and I was like,
oh, you know what ones fucking suck me into for no reason?
what?
Lawn mowing ones.
Oh fuck, dude! Fuck those
and
guys.
pressure washing ones. I'm just like,
yeah, like just like cathartic as fuck.
just
like,
drooling
oh,
on myself. Oh, fuck, I love mowing grass.
Sorry, your outer Mexican's showing.
That's my heritage. Fuck, dude.
Dude, I get those
But
all
like
the
that's
time.
how fucking ADD we are. Like we went so far off track because we're talking about these stupid videos and we're wondering if that's the reason why we're fucking retarded now.
I think it is, dude. I think that is did we ever have that as kids? Was ADD a fucking thing when we were kids? Fuck no.
Fuck no,
I
half
mean,
the time I have a hard time like putting my phone down so I can just watch a movie.
oh, dude, fuck yeah, man. Dude, I'm getting a Faraday box.
Yeah.
I
Like
literally
it's
am.
like
That's what
locked
I
up.
want for
Yeah.
Christmas. Like, you put it in there at 10 o'clock at night.
And
It's
just,
done. Just
yeah,
done.
it's
It's
gone.
done. I can't. I have and the hardest part is like, this is gonna sound terrible, but like, it was like, hey, you need to do a TikTok live. You need to do this. I'm like, I don't want to fucking look at my phone. I'm around you guys. Like, I don't want to even pull it out. Right.
Oh, I know. But we
And
get
but
so much fun when it's a TikTok live. I mean, look what happened in Texas
that was
when
nuts.
we.
It was fucking
But
nuts.
and I don't even have a TikTok, but that was pretty fucking impressive for a bunch of retards with phones.
Yeah, we don't even know what we're doing on TikTok. I'm not
No,
even. I'm
hell
not
no.
a TikToker.
Apparently you are, bro.
Whatever.
But
Um.
yeah, so like those are like legitimate
So
chemically
we have
chemically fucking
we.
wrong things in your brain.
I don't. Okay, hold on. I have a question. All right. So I was watching Jordan Peterson and a conversation that he was having with Joe Rogan.
Hmm.
He's talking about little boys, right? So little boys have like the most energy in the history of humans. They
Yes.
really just fucking
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah. I
But
got two of them.
you're going to literally make these little humans that have um a lineage that goes back to fucking the beginning of mankind, and they're full of energy. They're supposed to be building musculoskeletal strength. They're supposed to be learning how to hunt and like focus on these things, and you're cramming them into a school for 8 hours a day, and you give them a couple of recesses, but they're not focused because like they're not worn out.
Hmm.
So I have a hard time with ADHD because like hyper kids just they need to run. Like they need to be run. They need to be doing sports. They need to be doing activities. They need to be like strength building or whatever. In my mind. Now here's the thing. I'm not a clinical specialist. It, honestly, in today's day and age, I don't trust most clinicians. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think that he has a really good point about that, and I've heard the same thing that you just talked about from him and when he's on Rogan, and I think it's a brilliant point because like your kids should be just wreaking havoc, outside and tearing shit up, and I have a hard time with my boys not wanting to go outside.
Fucking video
Um,
games.
well,
Were we?
it's not even video games. It's like, oh, it's too hot. It's too this, too that. And I'm like, I grew up in 1998. That was the hottest summer on record. That's why they leave it out of all their fucking models when it comes to global warming and bullshit like that. It's like, because if they put that year in alone, it'd fuck their numbers so bad. But,
Oh, yeah.
it didn't stop me from riding my bike all damn summer.
No, you just got super dark.
Yeah, dude. Like
Like
from
whatever,
head
man.
to toe, dude.
Oh yeah.
My fingernails looked so white because
Well,
I was
yeah,
so
man.
dark.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember growing up, and it was like I couldn't wait to fucking get outside. Like as
God, we went
soon as
to
the snow fucking broke, I was like, we're fucking going outside. Like we're football games in the street with the neighbors, right? Skate
oh yeah,
ramps that you built like fucking dumb shit with, like your like wood you stole from like some house
the
that's being built
construction
down.
site. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah, and we spent our summer at like Raging Waters and shit too. You remember that water park?
oh fuck yeah, Raging
Yeah.
Waters is solid, dude. Right? Like it. Well, the wave pool was pretty dope. The
Yeah.
wave pool was pretty
Like
dope
you probably came close to drowning at
all the
some
time.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the hydro luge or whatever they called it. I don't fucking remember. I think it was
Yeah.
hydro luge. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you were swimming all fucking day, or you were running, or riding your bike, or doing something
Yeah.
all fucking day.
And you look at it now and you're like, I don't know. Kids don't get it. They don't do that. They're like,
No, but on the flip side, I'm afraid to let my kids play out in the fucking front yard too.
let's just be an adult.
I know, but like we used to disappear for like hours and hours
Without phones. Yeah.
without phones. Yeah,
Your son has a phone.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, how'd you get a hold of him when we were
I
golfing?
No, he called me from the school phone.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, every part of his neurosis reminds me of you.
Fuck that. I'm a
No,
cool
I
guy.
mean, or his grandma.
It's grandma.
I'm,
Let's blame it on grandma.
I'm gonna leave it. I'll let you decide which side of the family that neurosis goes on. It's not on me.
No,
I'm
but
point. I'm pointing to one side.
I'm afraid that they're gonna get taken.
Well,
Right?
yeah. I mean, every. Hold on. Pause for a reality check, real quick. Right. So every parent is afraid of their kids are going to be taken, no matter what generation. You just see more of it now on a global level, also because of social media, right? Like social media, like literally props up like bad guys.
Well,
So
I know,
people want
but
to be bad guys.
at the same time, like we're living in a time right now where there's more child sex trafficking and trafficking
Hmm.
than there's ever been before, too.
There's just not enough wood chippers in the world.
No, there's not. And there's not enough people that are fucking just shooting these guys right in the fucking face. But,
Well, you shoot them in the knee, and then you put them feet first in the wood chipper, so that way you can see the expression on their face when they realize they fucked up.
but you haven't thought about it at all.
No, not at all.
But
I don't
that's the
even
thing
care.
is
Leave
like
that in.
that's
Don't cut
that's
that out.
no, fuck that. Leave it in. Who cares? But that's the thing is like that's the scary part, right? It's
Mhm.
like in the backyard, I feel like it's they're good, right? The dogs are out there, the kids are out there, they're fine. Front yard, I feel like I have less control.
I mean, I think that's I still think that still rings true. I mean, that rang true for me, for my kids. I think that rang true for my mom and dad. They just had less control because we were latchkey kids. Like, what are they going to tell me? No, they get home at 6. Dude, there's like 3 hours in which I disappeared. All I got to do is call my mom
Going to
at
Billy's
her.
house.
No, not even that. Hey, call my mom. Hey, I made it home from school. Or, hey, I'm here. Cool. Be home by 6. You got to get your homework done. And it was like, sweet, dude. Fucking homework's done. Fucking hanging out with homie. And then just gone. Just gone. I mean, and there were multiple nights, right? Like where I would be like, hey, I'm staying over to Rich's house. And Rich would be like, I'm staying over at JT's house. And then we would just go off in the fucking woods with the fucking, not even woods, like the fucking field behind our houses.
Down by the Jordan River.
Well, kind of, like because I grew up in West Jordan off of 62, right? So we were like in between, like the field in between. It's not a field anymore, but it used to be a field off of Cougar Lane and Airport 2. We fucking like literally dug a giant ass hole in the ground, covered it with fucking shit we stole from like uh
Like
different
everywhere.
everywhere that was being built. I think like most of the wood came from a church. We stole all the scraps, right?
They had money.
Yeah, but
They were
whatever.
fine.
And then we covered it with dirt so it would be camouflaged. You couldn't see it, but you had to know the way there on the flat ground that you could see where it was. And we would stay out all night. We'd have a fire. We'd fucking buy like a 12-pack of Surge and order some pizza to be delivered to the church and give the guy cash and fucking roll. Like, I mean, the difference is now that parents are more informed.
I know, but I feel like we were more self
We were,
sufficient.
for sure.
These kids are dumb. I look like I have a conversation with my kid and I was like, oh fuck. You're gonna die out there. Like like he's the book smarts, super smart. No street smarts on this one. Like
He's not running the streets, bro. You can't have street
no,
smarts if you don't run the
that's
streets.
what I'm saying. I was like, oh my gosh. It's happening. The generation of weak men, it's happening. Not saying that he's gonna be weak, but he's not gonna know how to, fend for himself unless he's taught in a book or something. Or I just take him to the city and just teach him. I'm like, this is how you gotta survive.
No, man, get him out of the woods,
urban
bro.
urban survival, dude. Urban survival.
No.
Because he
'Cause
loves the city. He loves the city.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, he loves being in the city, the big buildings and all that. And I was like, I couldn't wait to get out of the city.
Oh fuck, man! I don't even know. That's terrible. You know, my daughter actually was like all about the city life, and then she came up here, and then she hated it and hated it and hated it. Talked shit on it for like the first 6 months, and then all of a sudden she was like, she flew back for my oldest daughter's wedding, and she was like, I fucking hate the city. I was like, yeah, like being surrounded by people that close to you is just fucking weird to me
And
now.
that's not even a big city.
Oh, well, I mean Albuquerque was. I mean,
Albuquerque's not that big.
it's super gangster though.
It is. There's like, I think the highest building is like like 15
Dude,
stories.
I mean,
Like
you're not wrong.
it's like
Um,
Salt Lake in '85.
well, they're putting in the tallest building right now, and so like my friend is doing the project manager for the elevators that are going in. He's part of the elevator union, which I didn't know was a thing. So it's gonna be like 68 stories tall.
Yeah, it's gonna it's gonna surpass the Wells Fargo building.
Woo, by like 20 stories.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one.
All right, so real ADHD is a motherfucker right now. Ha! Reeling it in. All right, so the bipolar thing, like bipolar, schizophrenic, PTSD. How do you cope with those things? And how do you
obviously,
live?
yeah, like obviously there's medication and stuff like that for bipolar stuff, but there's so many side effects for the medication too. It's like,
For real.
would you rather just be crazy every once in a while, or and some of it gets really, really bad too when it comes to bipolar. I like I said, I knew a Marine while I was in, and he used to just go batshit, dude. Like we'd be out drinking or something, and he would just have a moment and just go ape shit on like everybody. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, who pissed in his Cheerios? Then he'd be back like 10 minutes later. Like, just totally cool. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? And then finally he's like, like after like a year of this and us just being like, oh, whatever, he's just kind of a weird dude, whatever. Good dude. Just fucking would while out every once in a while, and we're like, what the fuck just happened? He was like, I just found out I'm bipolar. We're like, fucking no shit, dude.
Dude.
So like he got put on like pills and stuff for it, and he, they didn't kick him out of the Marine Corps or anything, but
You ever so on the real mental health side of things, right? So not to mock it or anything like that. I don't ever want to downplay any of that. The real things out there, and I don't really think that ADHD is a real thing. I just think it's what Jordan Peterson said. ADD, fine. You want to say that? That's fine. Whatever. But have you ever had a conversation with somebody who's schizophrenic?
no.
Okay.
I can't say that I have. And if I have, I didn't know it.
So I've had one, and I have never felt so sad for a person in my entire life, other than when I was speaking to somebody who has dementia, like my grandma did.
Uh-huh.
Because
Well, dementia and schizophrenia are different, though.
yeah, they're super different.
We're
But
rolling down a hill. I'm confused.
no, the only other time I felt that sad for somebody
Oh, okay.
was that there's no correlation between the two diseases, right?
Now I'm tracking.
Yeah. So, this dude I was talking to was like having this conversation with me, told me his name, everything else, and then he came back and he reintroduced himself to me as somebody different. And I thought he was fucking with me. But then he had a whole entire different story, different mentality, different mannerisms, all the differences.
Just all of it.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
So is that like multiple personalities too, like schizophrenia?
Maybe I'm mixing those up. Schizophrenia is what people talk to you, right? And then
I don't know.
I was multiple. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't like. We're not professionals. you know,
Right.
nor do I want to be a professional. Because like I don't It's just- there's not enough man like will in my life for that. I think they're two different things. So
So they are. There is overlapping symptoms.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go with this person had multiple personality syndrome, schizophrenia, whatever. When you speak to these people, I it's really hard for me, um, because I feel this absolute overwhelming amount of sorrow for them because they can't see life or live life through what I get to, and maybe they're seeing it better than me, but I don't feel that's the case. Because evolution would have moved us to that, you know.
There's a lot of theories on, obviously getting away from the bipolar thing, but there's a lot of theories on the schizophrenia and multiple personalities that actually talk about like demonic possession and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I've seen a lot of stuff on that and not having like personal experiences with it, but a lot of it seems to to kind of really line up,
it's interesting actually if you go and you look at like multiple personality disorder and the studies they're doing with ayahuasca
Uh-huh.
and PTSD, which is also very similar to like all of the things. PTSD is like I fucking hate the term syndrome, because it means they haven't figured out what's wrong, right? This was told to
What
me, by the way, by a doctor. They're like, syndrome is when they figure out like people have similar symptoms in different realms of the world at different times, and they don't know what's wrong, so they call it a syndrome.
Well, they used to call it shell shock, right?
Yeah, or the 1,000 yard stare, right? Um, but like you're seeing this, like I think the VA just they're now doing ayahuasca trips for PTSD victims, right? I think they are.
There's a study out of, I think it's UCSD or UC Irvine, one of those that's doing the ayahuasca,
Yeah,
a long release ayahuasca study. But I mean, that aside, right? Dealing with that and going with, psychedelics and having somebody, kind of walk you through it that
I'm going on a
knows
fucking
what the
journey,
fuck they're
bro.
doing.
I'm going on a journey.
I need somebody to be my Sherpa, dude, because
Ryan.
like, fuck that. That's the last person I want to be my Sherpa on the psychedelic journey. I would end up dead on my own fucking living room floor.
Bro, his rants would be majestical. Can you
Oh my
imagine
gosh, dude. The
a
colors that
Ryan
would just come from his mouth.
just flowing in like that midnight? It's the 5 or 4:05 at midnight, and you can now skateboard down the middle of the lane.
Oh yeah,
Fucking voice.
yeah.
Yeah, if you could do Ryan on that, oh man, that'd be
Oh
dope.
shit. We're gonna have to take some mushrooms into the woods sometime and handcuff each other together or something so we don't get split up.
Fuck, dude. That may or may not happen during the horseback journey for the
fuck
bachelor party.
fuck that. We'll all come back not alive.
No, we'll come back enlightened.
It will just be
Yeah,
the horses that come back.
we're on our way to be Joe Rogan at this point. I don't even know where we're at. We have fucking things. So you were talking about,
we went away.
yeah,
uh I just think there's a lot of different shit out there, and there's a lot of people, not even necessarily veterans, that have to deal with this shit all the time.
yeah.
And, you know, a lot of it, like I was saying, there's tons and tons and tons of what the fuck did I do here? Of pills and shit that they put them on that have the craziest side effects.
Oh, dude. So, all right.
And it's like there's got to be something out there
There's
that
got to be.
is better than just taking Pfizer drugs or
Dude. Okay,
whatever drugs.
Big pharma drugs. Fuck them.
Yeah, big pharma drugs.
Probably gonna get cut.
They'll never know. Nobody gets this far into one of these.
No, yeah, fair. Interesting to me. And I gotta wrap this up, but I'll make it actually a quick JT story. So I came home from Iraq, was diagnosed with PTSD or Afghanistan, sorry, whatever. One of my tours, it was Afghanistan. Anyway, came home, was diagnosed with PTSD. They tried to put me on like 3 or 4 different drugs, and none of them were working. I would always feel like I was just like watching my life walk past me, like literally felt like I was like watching me be me without having feeling. Super annoying. And then the psychiatrist was like, "Well, we're gonna try lithium," and I was like,
That's
I mean,
intense.
I said the shit that you put in batteries, and she was like, "Yeah," and I said to her, "Do I look like a fucking pink bunny rabbit to you?" And she's like, "Oh, do you want to try something not that?" I was like, "How about we stop doing pills? Because none of these are working. I don't want to do it." And then she did. She's like, "Oh, well, we can do holistic stuff." And I was like,
Well, fuck. Where was that
"Fuck
the whole
off,
time,
dude." By the way, how was that story? That was concise.
Really yeah, he fucking nailed that one.
Yeah.
He might be getting better at this.
No. So I mean, she ended up writing me a prescription to go to the Hapodi Sweat Lodge up at the U. And they do it every other Thursday. And I fucking went on a spirit journey. Stone cold sober. Well, dehydrated as fuck because that shit's hot as fuck in there. Like, we would die.
I would sweat the fat off.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, like, I walked in with basketball shorts on, and I was sitting with my legs, you have to sit with your legs crossed, right? And my legs were cramping because I was this, a half hour into it.
I've never been able to sit crisscross applesauce. So that was the hardest part of boot camp for me, was sitting crisscross applesauce.
So I moved my legs up like this to stretch them out, like to whatever, and it was like this big giant skadoosh all over my balls of cold fucking sweat.
Dude, I almost spit a whole ass fucking bottle of whiskey. I was not expecting that. I was expecting like an Indian to come after you or something. No, dude. For moving your legs.
Skadoosh. Skadoosh.
Skadoosh of water. You're fucking retarded.
Dude, you don't even know how much skadoosh that was. It's fucking for real. I did see a bunch of shit on the walls, but like
for like a second, were you like, was it like refreshing? Or was it like,
it was
shit.
It was like the weirdest feeling because it was like dying of heat. All of a sudden, and then all of a sudden my balls went inside of my body. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's cold. And then it was like, oh, no, it's not. And then they popped right back out.
It's very confusing times.
Oh, dude, it was fucking nuts. I mean, I did see some shit on the walls and like my own journey or whatever, but that's for a different time. I want to... Dude, I fucking
like secure some
short story.
Yeah, we need to like secure some psychedelics for this Montana building trip.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
I know a guy who knows a gal.
I do too. I bet you if I asked him and gave him a ride, he'd do it for free.
He probably wouldn't. He'd probably ask you for the funds to secure the psychedelics.
He'd probably still fucking not give me gas money.
Oh fuck! I bet you if you just texted his ex, she'd be like, "Sure, I got you."
Yeah, she'd hook it up.
Yeah. So
she'd want a video though.
My favorite part about this is he's gonna edit this stuff.
Oh, I know, that's the great.
That's fucking best part.
Our sound engineer.
He was fucking awesome. All right, so we have to revisit this because we actually need to like. I want to move on.
We have to move on. Yeah.
Because we were scolded.
These damn agendas.
Fuck, man. All right, so I think we should probably revisit this. Focused really on the ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenia, dementia, and like how it affects us as men. I think that'd probably be a good idea. So we'll come back to that. We're gonna circle back
Circle back
next week.
next
After
week.
next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for planning an agenda 2 weeks in a row. Appreciate you. All right. Cool. Now we're rolling into supernatural shit again.
Drum roll.
I fucking love supernatural stuff. But today, so outside of giants and Sasquatch, today, this is the shit that intrigues me. I'm fucking in like Flynn, bro. I'm in like.
You really
I'm
like
in,
this
like,
one?
This is my favorite shit, dude. You know, I grew up wanting to be an archaeologist. Not just because I like to dig up old shit, but
I was gonna
because
say.
actually I love to dig up old shit. It's really cool to me. Like I had all the, I wanted to be an anthropologist at first, and then I understand it. I studied some Egyptology as a kid. I really got into Greek mythology and like understanding like the differences in things. But finding the lost civilizations, Tartaria,
Oh,
or
Tartarians. Yeah.
yeah, Tartaria, or you know the Mayans and how they grew their culture, or the the megalith of all lost civilizations, Atlantis.
The Atlanteans.
Dude, I wanted as a kid to roll out with Jacques Cousteau and find he. I know he's not an anthropologist or an archaeologist, but wanted
He
to
does
roll out there in the ocean with him and do
under
some
the sea.
fucking Jules Verne shit, 12,000 leagues under the sea with these dudes and find Atlantis. And then that fucking Disney show came out, and it was terrible, but it was awesome. Just got Michael J. Fox before the stuff.
I don't know that one.
It's
I'm not
called
a Disney.
Atlantis. It's
I'm not a
called
Disney guy.
Atlantis.
Yeah, I don't know it. Sorry.
I don't know what to fucking tell you. I don't know.
I'm a Disney guy.
Yeah, I know.
Are you getting
Pardon
the
me.
movie cover?
No, there's movie covers anymore. I'm going to listen to you talk about Atlantis and Lost Places for a second while
All right. So Atlantis is definitely the most known out of all of them, right? But I think that Tartaria, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out about it and that people are
I'm
finding out. And
coming out.
okay. Okay. So
It's a song from Trolls. You wouldn't get that either.
no, you're right.
You have boys, I have girls. It's very, 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 very different.
Yeah, it's very different.
All right.
But
Lots of stuff coming out about Tartaria.
yeah, there's lots of stuff coming out about it and about the buildings and the things that they built
And the 0 point energy that they had.
and the 0 point energy. That's the biggest one, right? And I mean, I so much as saw one that said fireplaces aren't for fires in those times.
Hmm.
They were for 0 point energy and the energy generators, and that's how the houses and the homes were powered before all the bullshit. And then it was kind of a not mocking them, but a I don't even know how to I don't even know how to say it.
How fucked up did you get? It was only been a couple of cups of whiskey.
No. I'm just trying to remember the words, like not like mocking that, like fuck, I can't think of the word, but like you saw it, so you do it, right?
Oh, mimicking.
Mimicking, yeah. They were mimicking what they had seen in the past. So when they built these new houses or built New York or like all these things that were built in the Gilded Age, they just mimicked what they had seen before, and they used them as actual fireplaces instead of energy conducting devices. But all these people are fucking dead now.
I mean, so there's
And the
lots of
books and books have been rewritten. So how the fuck do we know?
no. The burning of Alexandria was what happened.
This is way after that though.
No. Tartaria was before that.
No.
So no, Tartaria was before that, and so was Atlantis. They were all but written by, or the accounts of Atlantis were documented by Galileo.
Yeah,
which is before.
Atlantis was. Tartaria is supposedly well after.
Interesting. Okay, so we will have to Google that. You should Google it while I talk for a second.
Okay.
Okay. So it's interesting on this kind of plane of existence, right? So at some point there's a theory, and we bring up things that I believe in and that I don't believe in and all sorts of other shit, right? Probably more things that I believe in and that you believe in, because that's like easier for us to talk about. It's not just plausible, right? For Atlantis, you're still utilizing a 0 point energy thing, right?
Right.
And there are so many quote unquote accounts that were potentially documented. If you go through history, Atlantis is referenced throughout like like Galileo's time. Like was it like the 1400s?
1400s, yeah.
1400s, right? And he references it.
But it wasn't Galileo. It was Plato that talked about Atlantis.
Yeah, Plato. You're right. Thank you. So then we're talking like Roman times, which is like 500 BC. Greek times, because Plato was during the Greek and Roman times, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So he writes about it a couple of times in a couple of his stories, and then it becomes this like myth. But then you have now modern day where they have a couple spots out in the Caribbean where there's like a old road that went out into the ocean,
Uh-huh.
like a handcart road on Roman type roads.
Yeah, I've seen that where there's actual like hand cart wheels like ground into the road.
Yeah, and like the roads of Rome and Germany and all those places, like the cobblestone roads, I mean, they're the same fucking roads that they had, forever ago. By the way, don't reference the dates; they're not accurate because I'm pulling it out the top of my hat, and I'm low on crayons. So
No, I think you're pretty close. There's also a place in Africa that actually has the rings, the concentric rings for Atlantis, that actually has fossilized things that are around it from the sea, and then at one point was underwater, and those rings actually sit up above sea level and where the ocean would have actually been. So you could have actually, sailed your boat right up to Atlantis. And
what if
the way,
Atlantis is on the other end of a Stargate?
dude,
I mean, that
then,
makes sense. It'd be the easiest solution.
or like an ice wall.
Well, you mean, wait, there's an ice wall?
I don't know. There could be. I don't know.
We need to go to Antarctica.
We need to. So, and we've talked about that a bunch before, right? Like, I think that it's definitely a globe. I don't think that the Earth is flat. I think it's definitely a globe, but I think that the globe is potentially far bigger
It's like the
then
Zoolander quote, bro. What is this, a school for ants? It's got to be at
right.
least 5 times this big, right? I think you're right. I mean, I don't know if it's a globe or not. I've never been to space, and I'm not trusting fucking NASA anymore. I'm just not. Like, I mean, just because
No, the trust
you,
is gone there. The love
yeah,
is gone.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it. I just, I don't know. I don't even know what to trust anymore with it. But like, here's the things that I believe, right? I believe that Atlanteans and Tartarians are tied together. I believe that's
I
real.
think that the Atlanteans came before the Tartarians, and the
Yeah.
Tartarians were like the 1600s through like the 1800s. Nothing will really pin it down, but if you look in
So
pre 19
the
pre
Tartarians were the gentlemen because they came last.
of course,
Nice.
and they made all of this shit that we inherited from St. Peter's Square
Hmm.
to like things like Buckingham Palace, like things like that, where they were like these magnificent builders. And there's a lot of stuff that says that they are responsible for the construction of the World's Fairs, and how they would do like Chicago, and they would build all these buildings within the matter of a year or two that would take us still 5 years to date. And they did it in Chicago, they did it in San Francisco, they did it in New York, they did it in all these places, and then all these things were taken down.
Yeah.
And pre 1950s encyclopedias had stuff about them, and has things about them in select ones, and that makes me an even bigger believer in the possibility that they were actually out there, and they had 0 point energy.
Oh,
And
I think that 100%. I mean, you look across all the old monoliths and things like that that make no sense, and how like these giant stone masses were created, right? And they were done so well and slid together so well that you can't even fit a piece of paper in between them, right?
oh yeah, and there's so much stuff that's like on the internet and all over that says the Catholic Church rewrote history
It's just true.
when it comes to what was really out there. And and then, I mean, there's something that we can bring up another time that actually talks about there being three popes.
What is that?
There's a gray pope, a white pope, and a black pope.
Oh,
That'll fucking get your engine revving.
listen, I don't know if I can go down another conspiracy theory hole. Uh, if you guys are listening, don't go down the red shoe hole because like it's a dark hole.
They're going. Everybody's
They're
going. I hope.
fucking. Oh man, I hope
I
so
hope
too.
they.
But
I hope they ride us with more info.
I hope that people, if you do go down that hole, that you buy a wood chipper. So anyway, the story behind Atlantis is based upon a Greek city-state founded by Neptune, the god of the sea. Right? It's a wealthy state. Atlantis was supposed to be like a formidable power. Um, it was an island in the pardon me, in the Atlantic Ocean. Um, and apparently they pissed off the gods. Um, but basically, there was a shitload of earthquakes, mudslides, and the island disappeared into the ocean. Right. Um, the idea behind this is that Plato, um, where he went to like a couple of different places. I want to say it was at Alexandria, and he read books about it, and then he hypothesized on the potential location. So after the Greeks, the Romans came in and they burned Alexandria, so we have no proof of what he actually read.
Yeah, they said that like an estimate is that we lost 1,000 years worth of history and knowledge
Hmm. Fucking Romans.
in the burning of Alexandria.
Yeah,
But
fucking Romans.
you know what the Romans were related to? Catholic Church.
Weird. So
But
they pro-
I'm very curious to know, and which we'll probably never know, the things that are in the Vatican Library.
Oh, dude.
I think there's a whole bunch there, and
Or like the classified section in the fucking Library of Congress.
I think there's more in the Vatican.
There probably is, for sure.
I think because you have books that are there's books that are in the Vatican Library that haven't even been translated yet.
Right.
I mean, that blows me away.
It's weird. I think the biggest thing that I have, and this isn't really paranormal, and I don't think that any of this is really paranormal that we're talking about, but it's really weird to me
It's more
that
historical
yeah,
than like our
yeah,
lost history.
lost history.
Well,
Ooh, I'm
and
in on
then,
this.
but even like with the lost history, the lost history is the lost tribes of Israel.
Oh yeah. You were talking to me about that when you were drunk up at the property, the hidden
Yes,
spot.
yes, the hidden spot.
So it's interesting, right? When we start talking about these things and we start looking at these things, right? It's really hard to decipher what is what because the ultimate thing in life is knowledge. Knowledge is power. In my belief system, Odin gave his eye for knowledge, right? And he wanted to have an understanding of how everything worked and how like life was created and all the other things. But like knowledge is being hidden from us nonstop. Like the truth is like what is true now?
Yeah,
I
and
know
that
I know my word is true, but like outside of that, I don't fucking know anything.
well, and it bums me out because I feel like there's so much history that we should be able to know, but
Yeah.
it's not being taught because everybody thinks that they're more powerful if they have it and we don't for whatever reason. That's
Well,
their that's their game plan.
well, it's
And
very much a religious system, right? If you look at like extremist Muslim systems,
I
right?
think it's I think it started out that way,
Well,
but at
it's
least
yeah. Now it's
at least with the Christian society and like uh Europe and the Americas, it has evolved to a political thing.
it's super annoying. Yeah, no. Like they took it. They were like, oh, these guys did this really well. Let's make it next level, right?
Well, and one thing too that has to do with the lost tribes of Israel too is if you go and look at your family standard or your family crest,
Mhm.
there's pieces in those family crests that are derivative of the lost tribes. So, based on your family crest and the combination of your family crests, you can tell what tribes you were potentially from. So, based on your heritage and everything else, you could see, and there's, one of the tribes ended up being a Norse tribe, right?
Mhm.
The northern tribe. So, one ended up being the Muslim, right? It split, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking 10 different tribes over 2,700 years ago, right? So they split, they went everywhere. So if you actually take your family crest and you look at that standard, and that's why they've always had standards in war. And if you don't know what a standard is and you're listening, it's a flag or when you would see medieval standards, they would have a lion or an eagle or something on it, like the Marine Corps standards. They have the battalion or the regiment or the division that you're in. So it just represents the flag that you fight under.
Yeah. The
Or
quote unquote family.
or if you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's, you know, your what family you support or whatever. But if you look at those standards, they actually do trace back that far. And each tribe actually has something to do uh, with what they actually picked what they were going to have on those standards.
Yeah.
That way they always knew what the tribe was and what tribe they belonged to. So
Interesting. It's very interesting when you start going down that path, because that's like the idea behind this is like, oh, my religion's this or my religion's that or blah 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 blah, whatever that is, right? Whatever you believe in, like if you're doing good for humanity, it doesn't matter in my mind, and it will never matter in my mind, right? I don't think it matters in most people's mind. Um, Past that, though, there's a historical piece of this that's lost, and it's not really lost. The elites know it, right? They know it, and they're holding it from us. And they have that, and they're withholding all this stuff. Like, you look at Zero Point Energy and references Stephen Greer and his Sean Ryan podcast, right? Pardon me. And then
well
you look and then you look at beyond that, right? Like,
well you look at the Rockefeller setting up the pharmaceutical industry.
yeah,
You look at you look at
who's the
Vanguard and BlackRock. Like, you look at those different organizations, and you have all these families that that have contributed to this over generations to control everything. So you have like the
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 Rothschilds?
Rothschilds, you have the Rockefellers, you have the Vanderbilts. Like, you have like these old money families that,
Vampires.
yeah, they're just really. And if you go on Forbes and stuff like that, Forbes never has what they're worth on there.
Well,
But
they won't, because they just can't, right?
yeah, well, they own
Because they're
everything.
own, yeah, they've owned, yeah, like, yeah, there's like
As soon as
three.
a company goes public, freaking BlackRock and Vanguard buy them up, and Vanguard is owned by BlackRock or vice versa.
Yeah.
So the bearded Viking will never go public.
Nope. I'm not trying to do that. You're not trying to do that. I just don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah, no, we'll always be owned by each other and you guys.
Hmm. Yeah. It's crazy. So here's the question that so you talked about the tribes of Egypt and all those things, and um or of Israel, sorry. Um so here's the question, right? Why? Why can't we find Atlantis? Why can't we reference back to Tartaria? Why do we only have a glimpse of what Mayans actually knew? Like, where is that knowledge? And is it being hidden from us?
I think it's definitely being hidden from us, because if it wasn't, we would be a lot smarter.
Well, yeah,
We
I
would
mean,
be more independent, and we wouldn't be reliant on governments to protect us or anything like that. It's hard to have a shit ton of power and a shit ton of money when people are independent and people can produce and take care of themselves.
yeah.
And I think we're starting to see, at least in small groups, a resurgence of people wanting to be self-reliant and
Mhm.
move to that self-reliance, and, for lack of better words, learning the old ways, relearning the old ways. We're relearning shit that was forgotten,
Yeah,
because we're afraid now that it's going to be taken away,
mhm.
and we're going to have to know how to do this shit.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you 100%, a hundredfold. You know, I stopped, other than the inhaler that I have now because of the burn pits. Um, I really have stopped taking like Tylenol for pain and like ibuprofen for stuff. Mona and I actually just started the this parasite remover for your gut. It's
Uh-huh.
fucking gross. It's like wormwood and fucking black walnut, right? And it's supposed to
It probably
promote.
fucking works though, right?
Well, dude, so here's the thing. Like, before I started taking it, now I'm on vitamin T. We all know that. And I had an energy boost after I moved over back to it, right? But we, she found it, and I'd been doing a lot of research on my own on this. But like old books would say parasites will cause cancer. They cause shit that's wrong in your gut. They
Migraines, like all of
my
it.
all the yeah. So and we're being fed food that's got a shitload of fucking preservatives in it. Like
Yeah,
that's just is what it
bugs and
is.
fucking parasites and preservatives and
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So since I've been taking that and this other stuff called Shilajit, which is something I put in my coffee in the morning,
Hmm.
which is like found in the Himalayan mountains. It's like this weird fucking goo stuff that I just mix in my coffee and I add some creamer and call it good. Um, but ever since I've been taking that, dude, like I'm back to being regular with my bodily movements, which hasn't been happened since before Iraq. That's weird. I have only
You mean,
taken
you mean the Euphrates stuck with you for all these
oh
years?
fucking Euphrates is my homie. We've been so but like the other side of that too is like the longest nap that I've taken, which I used to take a 2 o'clock nap every day, like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. No matter what, I would take a 2 o'clock nap. Otherwise, I couldn't make it through the day. Now, um, for the past like 5 days, so you have a week of workup, and then you have a week of like the next week is when it's like fully in your system, right? I took a 5 minute nap today, and I was like cleaned the house. I took all the shit off the fucking the front and back porch. I did a bunch of errands, and I haven't taken a nap. And I go to sleep, and I'm out. When I wake up, I'm awake. And so to me, like that thing is like that's knowledge, right? But who owns Big Pharma?
It's like Rothschilds,
Yeah,
Rockefellers,
yeah.
like
They
they're
got
the
you
ones
under
who
the thumb, bro.
they're the ones who started it, right?
Well, yeah, and they abolished all this shit. They started putting out all this other stuff from oh, okay, ivermectin.
Science. Yeah.
Like
But
fucking fake science.
yeah, well, like ivermectin and um, hydroxychloroquine
And
are,
vitamin D.
yeah, are more or less just
They're dewormers.
yeah, nature's miracle, right?
Well, yeah, they just like cause parasites to leave your body.
Yeah, and that the fact that they fucked with people saying, "Oh, you're taking horse dewormer and this and that and the other," it's like, dude, like they people definitely struck a nerve. People that didn't pay attention to what they tried to do to Rogan and those people that are high profile individuals, calling them crazy and trying to despair their what they're doing and their character. That's bullshit. And ultimately, they kind of showed their colors. Like
Oh yeah.
they showed their hands, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's we're definitely in a time now where there's a ton of stuff to be learned, right? Because I think that AI is going to be a absolute disaster, but the good that can come of it is AI can comb through all of the bullshit and figure out the stuff that has
Make
been
sure we
hidden.
let's reference it as what it is.
It's
We don't
Skynet.
Skynet.
It's Skynet. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please.
No, it's
Thank
Skynet.
you. Thank you.
But like Skynet can figure out all this stuff about Tartaria and Atlantis and and eventually it'll put it all together. So there's a lot of knowledge to be learned, but and like I was kind of referencing a little bit ago, where there's a lot of people that are moving away. They're trying to get away from society, trying to relearn the old ways and trying to be self-reliant.
Mhm.
And everything is stacked against those people as far as trying to be self-reliant, from seeds to grow food to, you know, ways to power the home and be connected, because people want to be connected still, because we're so used to being dialed into it.
Mhm.
And a lot of us have to for jobs and everything like that. And
Yeah.
the
Currency.
the disadvantage comes to people that can't afford it. They can't afford to be off the grid
Mhm.
or to move somewhere where they're away from society.
No, I
So
mean, that's
it's
truth, right?
it's not fair. I get that. There's people living in the city that don't want to live in the city, that they have to live in the city. Or people that are living in,
Well, I mean,
impoverished areas that, you know, work their asses off, but they'll never get out.
yeah, there's a lot to be said about the people who suffer, which we referenced on last week's podcast, right? Um, and just being cognizant of our grown-up time. We actually didn't even touch base really on Tartaria or Atlantis. We kind of a little bit, but we went down the rabbit holes because we have
No,
ADHD.
well, I think we did, in the sense that it's lost, right?
Oh yeah, well, and that
And
knowledge is missing, and that would have helped out today.
right, and the knowledge that's gone, like we have to trying to find it again, trying to relearn it again.
Yeah,
And there's
I,
people out there that are going to, but I think the importance of like knowing that those places existed, and maybe we don't know where they are yet. Maybe it's the Eye of Africa for Atlantis.
mhm.
Maybe it's just off the coast of Louisiana for Atlantis,
Maybe,
because there's lots of stuff that points there too.
yeah,
So finding these places, these lost places, we can say that we found them, but unless we find a watertight chest of knowledge and we know how to speak the language, you know what I mean?
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all the same thing, right? So I guess the message on this end is number one, challenge what is presented as truth. I think that's the most important thing,
Oh yeah,
right? Challenge the truth. Like it's okay. It's a scientific process to challenge truth. That thing.
yeah. Work towards being self-reliant.
Yep. Um, and then beyond that, challenge challenge yourself to become self-sufficient, right? Like really just do that. Like just really really focus on like, hey, if tomorrow like there's a solar storm that's going to knock out the internet for 6 months,
Right.
right? How am I going to survive? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
you
Put
know,
yourself put yourself
you
in
know,
a situation where you're learning something to survive.
dude. If they
If
cut if they cut the internet off for like 6 months, I will bet you now, when the lights come back on and the internet comes back on, they have fucked themselves, because people will no longer be glued to the internet
hmm,
and their phones and TV, and people are gonna die. 100%. People will die,
yeah,
but the people that are left are people that you are not gonna want to fuck with,
facts.
especially when you flip the switch back on.
No, we'll probably turn it off.
Yeah, there's no fucking need for it,
Yeah, fuck
because
it.
by then the communities are established. You have
But
reestablished the sense of
it,
community.
the internet goes out. What are the banks going to do?
There's no need for them.
No.
No.
Currencies.
All of a sudden, overnight, you have a gazillion different types of currency, just like you did in the very beginning.
This is why we're doing Hooch.
Yeah. We're trading beads. We're buying cows. Like, we're riding horses.
Oh, yeah.
You
Fuck
know?
it. Like, who cares? I mean,
Yeah.
you're in a city, so, well, you're close to cities. You're in a populated area. I'll call it that. Me, I'm on top of a mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like,
On the plains.
I mean, it's not really, I mean, my house is a place. Right down below is the woods, but whatever.
Ish.
Enough. You haven't been around. You don't know.
I've never been there once.
Well, you've been to my house, but you haven't been in the area, like past the meadery. You haven't seen all the cool things. Lots of cool things to show you. Anyway, regardless, beside the point, it's time that we wrap up the call. Because long or whatever.
We don't want to get in trouble again.
Yeah,
We're gonna get in trouble again, aren't we?
I don't really care. It is what it is. Want to do a couple shout outs. So, shout out to Donnie Morton over at Bulletproof Insulation. If you guys are in Montana, reach out to him. Somewhere along the line, we'll post this information. But reach out to him. Find him on Facebook. Find him on the Instagrams. He's also on the Talks. And hit him up. Tell him the Bearded Viking sent you. Great guy. Does great work. And he's true to his word as a contractor.
No way.
Fucking weird.
No way.
All right. Shout out to Boss Graphic Design. Man, I sounded drunk there.
Kazan.
Anyway, make sure you reach out to the boat. Tell him that you're thicker than a Snicker. Use discount code THICK, and he'll hook you up. That's actually something he's going to have to do now because he actually doesn't do that. But now here we are. We're committed. Whatever.
We'll figure it out.
Of course, thanks to the Bearded Viking family, all of you guys make this thing work. Share, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you're going to do. Tell your friends about us. Lots of great stories. And comment. Actually, really just comment. Like, go on YouTube, comment. Send us a message, comment. Tell us what you want to hear about. If you are somebody who wants to join the podcast, you need to let us know.
Right, we promised guests.
Yeah, we promised guests. We've got a Patreon. We're going to do those things. Hopefully Patreon and Mead.
Oh yeah,
very soon.
We're all good. We're all good on that front. And we're gonna go live on another podcast soon.
Yeah. Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not drinking whiskey when you roll down. Making those bitches drink some mead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Love them. Can't wait to see them. Can't wait. All right, folks. With that being said, it's been a great podcast. As always, I am Viko the Bearded One.
I'm the Jarl. Stay with you guys.
And cheers.